Hi guys, it's Simply Being Dan, and today we're back with a completely different video. Today we're going to be talking about motivation, something that I struggled with last week and the week before, and I thought, sometimes before you burn yourself out you have to take a break. Now, I am not a full-time YouTuber, I am part-time I would say. I have a full-time job, what means I work 8 hours a day, Monday to Friday. I start work at 8 and I finish at 4. You would think that that gives me a lot of time. What it does at the minute, because I'm working from home, but also when I've been going on site to do computery parts that I can't do from home, it then means that it drags longer into the day. And last week I had a huge project of migrating school to Office 365, what then resulted in me being completely burnt out. So I decided not to force myself to record something for YouTube. Over the weekend I recorded lots of gameplay that I'm going to do voiceovers for, so hopefully the gameplay will be back. But I thought I would do a completely different type of video about motivation. So during lockdown it's been pretty difficult to be motivated. And the main thing that realistically we need as a society to realise is not being motivated is okay. Not being motivated doesn't mean that you're lazy. It just means that you're having an off day. Just because you're not motivated doesn't mean you're lazy. It's also just being a part of being human. Humans aren't built to be doing 100% all of the time. Imagine a car. If you run a car at 100% all of the time, eventually it would die, and that's kind of what our human body's like. We're not designed to do 100% all of the time. That's why we need to sleep. If we don't get enough sleep, we're grumpy. So we're all allowed our off days. Now, one thing during lockdown that could help with motivation, or could help as a mental health thing, is offload on people. If you've had a shit day, offload on people. Ring up your mum, your dad, your girlfriend, boyfriend, friends, ring up anybody and just maybe offload onto them, another work colleague, and offload and just see, they might give you some advice and they might open your eyes to something that you didn't realise was that was there. With lockdown now, it is the 22nd of February, and today in the UK, good old Boris has announced that there is now an end towards lockdown. The 21st of June is basically when we're returning back to normal. Now, in between that time, we have other things reopening, but essentially on the 21st of June, we're hopefully returning back to a normal life. Now, during lockdown, motivation has been hard for some people. It's been hard for me, I believe. During lockdown, you just get tired earlier because we're not exerting the same energy. But one thing that can help with motivation is getting out and doing a bit of fitness. Now, I was listening to BBC. I was listening to the radio, what I don't do a lot. And just excuse me, I've got some notes written here. And basically, on the BBC lockdown hacks or life hacks, lockdown mental well-being, they had a scientist on and they were talking about multiple things. I'll link the podcast down below, just so that you guys can have a listen. And basically, the scientist was sort of saying that motivation just doesn't come naturally to us. It just doesn't. We don't just wake up and go, I'm motivated today. Normally we have to set a goal. That goal then leads on to the snowball effect. So this scientist basically said that for humans to get motivated, we have to force ourselves to do something that is going to release endorphins. So endorphins, for people that don't know, are a part of the brain or a hormone chemical that makes us feel happy or an achievement. And basically, for us to be motivated, we have to have that endorphin released before we feel motivated or before we want to do something. So for example, first thing in the morning, you do a stretch, you do a run, you clean the house, you do something productive that makes you feel like you've achieved something. That then goes on to snowball effect the rest of your day. That's what the scientist said anyway. So basically what she said, the scientist, was for you to be productive and for you to feel motivated, you have to do something that's going to release endorphin. Now, that can come from what I said, cleaning and stuff. That makes you feel good. And then normally, once you've done the task, you're then oh my god, I want to do this. So for example, on the weekend, sounds really weird, I got a pot. I got a rose from a friend that died recently, and his family gave out roses to friends. And I've got a rose. And in the summer, I planted it into the ground, and then it didn't do so well during the winter. It's been snowing here, so I dug it up. Listened to my mum. I dug it up and I put it into a pot with my own compost that I made. Now that one thing, from me just saying I'm going to repot the rose today, that then led to me digging up the plant. Like, you've got to set small goals with motivation. So I had to dig up the plant. I then had to check my homemade compost. The homemade compost was really good, so then it led me to feel good because I'd done something that, like, it'd been a long-term goal, like I want to make my own compost. Then I potted it with my own compost and put rose feed in, watered it, and it seems to already be doing a lot better. From me doing that, like, it took me half an hour. I then was like, let's go for a walk. We then went to the marsh, which was like a couple of miles from us, and we then went for like a 2 mile and a bit walk in our wellies across the marsh. If I hadn't have done the part, I can guarantee you now that I wouldn't have gone for the walk. And that's basically, like, you have to do something that snowballs the rest of it. Now, I've got this thing that I've copied from Google, so I'll put that somewhere. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, or an endorphin, linked to motivation. Studies show that endorphins are enhanced and increased with altruistic behaviour. Sorry if I butchered that. We could say that acts of kindness are motivations in themselves, and that we act more kindly, the endorphins or motivating chemicals that are in our brain increase. So basically, the more stuff that we do, the higher that level goes. So if you keep on building blocks and building blocks, you're going to keep on striving to do well. Obviously, you're going to have some blips. Now, what comes with motivation is stuff that you've always wanted to do and stuff that you're scared to do and things like that. Now, don't get me wrong, for many years I've tried to do this YouTube thing and I've tried to really push it, and this year's the first year that I really have tried, and I'm going to keep on trying now because it's something that I enjoy doing. I don't care about the money, I don't care about the fame. I like the vlogs. They're for me and for my family. For when I get older, I'm basically just scrapbooking my life. Oh, that day we did this day I did that, like, so that I can look back on my life and go, I actually had quite a good life. I did this, and this. That's what I do, and that's what I'm doing it for. And when that came out, I actually felt like this, and when this happened, that felt like that. Like, I'm not doing it for the fame. I'm doing it just because I enjoy it. But for a long time, I was scared of what people were going to say / did say when they found my thing in school and stuff. But like, when you have a goal, and we have to set small goals for us to feel like we're achieving things. So I've put here, set small goals, and then the end goal doesn't seem as daunting. If I, for example, I've started taking up cycling, and last year I got really into it, but I had to build up to what I wanted to do. Now, I wanted to do a Grand Fondue, which 100 km, works out about 64 miles. If I got on my bike the first day that I got it and said, tomorrow I'm going to be doing a Grand Fondue, wouldn't have done it. So over time I did 10 miles, 15 miles, 20 miles, and then from that 20 miles I went up to 30, and then from 30 I went up to 50. Then I was like, oh, actually I'm only this amount away from a Grand Fondue now, so I might as well just add on the extra miles. And that's how if you set small goals and you reach them each time, you then can increase them. It's a bit like in the gym with progressive overload. You then can, see your achievements. So one thing that I wanted to say that a part of motivation is I'm going to try and motivate you guys to at least do something that is going to make you feel better. So first thing that I say, and it's easier said than done because I still to this day, like, I've got a huge project coming up that I'm bringing to the YouTube channel that I'm going to do an announcement on, but I haven't done my YouTube, I haven't put it on Facebook, I've not really put it on Instagram, I've not put it on Twitter because I'm scared of what the people that I know are going to say. So at some stage, I'm going to just say, fuck that, I'm doing me. But for me, the small step was uploading consistently, building a small viewership. And then once I've, got past that part where I don't care anymore, then I'll release it to the people that I know. So don't care what people think. No matter what you do, you're always going to have somebody that's going to say something bad about you. You could feed 100,000 people and somebody will moan that you didn't feed 200,000 people. You could run 5 marathons and somebody would moan, why did you not do 6? You know, you're always going to have somebody that's going to be negative. So, like, you have to sort of take that on board. Sometimes, you know, constructive criticism is good. You can improve your content, your physique, performance, work ethic by constructive criticism. But somebody who's constantly being negative and it's like unnecessary, just push it to the side. Now, when you come to the end of life, realistically, why are we going to stop a dream for somebody who, like, at the end of the day, like, nobody cares about? Like, in a year's time, is the person that's told you that you look like shit, are they really still playing on your mind? Because are they that relevant to you a year later? Like, they've said it, and now, like, are they still relevant to you? Does it really matter what they say? That's, like, the type of thing that I mean. So, don't stop your dreams just because of what other people are going to say. Because you're then just letting them control your life, essentially. Now, the other thing that I want to say is, when you're on your deathbed, are you going to just think like, oh, God, what if I'd done this? What if I've done that? When actually on your deathbed, you'd go, thank God that I'd tried that. Like, if I hadn't have tried that, it would have been a what if. But even if it fails, at least you've tried it. You know, with each success comes 100 failures. You know, with SpaceX, for example, they've had so many things like explode, not work, not done this, not done that. And now they're like one of the leading spaceship people. You know, it's just crazy. You know, I was listening to the Atma podcast. Big shout out to the guys at Atma, Doodoo Rhino, the Hobo Jack people, Hobo Jack clothing, and Loz. And they recently did a thing on motivation what also sort of inspired me to do this. You know, they sort of said like, a leader, and like I think they said something like, a lion doesn't care about what the other animals are doing. It's like focused on its dream, and that's kind of like where we like what we need to do to be motivated. Now I've just added a small bit at the bottom, like how to get motivated. Set small goals. End goal won't seem so daunting. I said that at the end. To get motivated, do something that will make you happy. Cleaning, sports, hobby. You know, do that small thing. Start the snowball off. Roll it down the hill. Then you're going to do loads. The hardest part is doing the activity. So, for example, for so many people, the thought of a run is, they want to they'll do anything to avoid it. But once they've done their run, they feel so much better about themselves. They're like, oh my God, I'm so glad that I did that run. I feel so much better. I'm now going to clean the kitchen. I'm now going to do this. You know, that, like I said, that small thing is the snowball. But the hardest part is starting the activity. Once you've started it, you'll smash it. You know, and I thought that I'd share some of my personal goals is for the next couple of weeks. I'm a semi-pro footballer. Hopefully we'll be able to start playing sports again from the 29th of March, roughly. I've been on a bulk. It was my bulk season. It started in November. Started a little bit late. Well, I actually started like each time that the gym's open. That's kind of, I went sort of back to it. But I carried on this time through this lockdown. I've hit my weight goal. So I'm now gonna my cut. So lose a bit of weight after my bulk. Get back playing football again because hopefully we can. I'm going to continue to upload to YouTube. They're like my small little goals. Keep on uploading. As you know, I set them goals at the beginning of the year. I've got them up there. Reach 500 subs by the end of the year. Build a bit of a community. Upload 3 to 4 times a week. Do more collabs. Increase watch time. Increase viewership. Increase likes. Increase comments. I can almost say that since January, I have hit almost every single one of them. But, you know, I'm now sitting on like 60 something subscribers, which is nothing, but it's more than what I had when I started. My viewership's up. More people are watching longer into my videos. I have uploaded 3 to 4 times a week, bar last week where I didn't feel motivated. And I'm not going to beat myself up about it because I'm allowed to have off weeks. I'm allowed to do my own thing. Increase views. My views are getting up. Like, I had one video do 255 views. What is crazy for me, I've got more people like, and I've got more comments, I've got more engagement on my videos. I can say, like, I am ticking them off. I've just got to make sure that I keep on going. Now, the last thing that I'll say is, if you guys are struggling with motivation, struggling with mental health, struggling with anything that's been in lockdown that has sort of really affected you, drop me a message on YouTube, Instagram me, because my Instagrams are, in the description and on my homepage, and just DM me. Like, I'm going to reply. I'm here to help. So it's been your boy Simply Being Dan. Give it a like. Leave me some feedback with a comment. If you didn't like the video, dislike it. It always is good to have, engagement for helping me. I hope that this guys has sort of like normalised having off days and how ways that we can move forward and be motivated. And remember that if you guys are struggling, just give us a DM and I'm more than happy to help. It's been your boy Simply Being Dan. Peace out.